Hi everyone, today we are going to make a muffin or a cupcake hat. We're going to start by making our slip knot and attaching it to the peg above the anchored peg. We're going to do a little E-wrap around each peg all the way around the loom. So we're done wrapping, so now we're going to do the U-wrap stitch on each of the pegs. So on each peg, just do the U-wrap all the way around until you reach the anchor peg again. When we're done with this, we will be cast it on. Now we're going to start knitting 2 and purling 2. So we're going to do the E-wrap stitch 2 times. So wrap a little E and knit over. Then we're going to do the purl stitch twice. With the purl stitch, you put the working yarn below the stitch on the peg and you pull it up through, making a loop, take it off the peg and tighten it. So we'll be doing this 2 knit and 2 purl. We're doing the E-wrap stitch for our knit and a regular purl stitch. And we're going to do this for 13 rows or however big you want your brim. So if you want your brim a little longer than 13 rows, you can make it longer depending on the person you're making it for. It all depends on what you want. My 13 rows of knit purl are done, so now we're going to take the working yarn and cut. We're going to add the icing of the cupcake hat. So I went ahead and snipped the yarn, and then I'm going to add pink. So just tie it together with a double knot. And pull it tight. We want it nice and secure so it won't give out. Okay, now we're going to proceed with the icing of the hat. So go ahead and do the E-wrap. We're going to E-wrap the entire way around the loom, finishing back at the anchored peg. Now we're taking the bottom loop over the top, and I already started with the 3, so I'm just continuing. So after you add the E-wrap, you take the bottom over the top, making the E-wrap stitch. Now we're going to do it again. Make the E-wrap all the way around. It does help if you push your stitches down so you have room for the new stitches. We're going to continue doing this for 3 rows. To have room to add. So make 3 rows of the E-wrap stitch. Just like that. Just push those stitches down. We're making our way around, and then we're going to take the bottom over the top, making the E-wrap stitch. So knit over, taking the bottom over the top. We're finishing up our 3 rows of E-wrap, and then we are going to start a new process of knitting 2 stitches together. So to start at the beginning of the row, you E-wrap 2 and you knit over. Take the stitch off of the peg to the right of the 2 that you just E-wrapped, and put it to the right. So you now have an empty peg that you're going to wrap. And then wrap that other peg that you put the 2 stitches on. Then you're going to knit over. Then you're going to start the process again of 2 E-wraps, knit over, take the peg to the right, or the stitch to the right, off of the peg, place it to the right, push it down, wrap the empty peg and the peg beside it, then knit over the 2 bottom stitches. So again, E-wrap twice, knit over, take the stitch to the right off of the peg, place it to the right, wrap the empty peg, and knit over. We're doing this to decrease our row. So we're almost finished. We only do 1 row of this. Now we're going to do 4 rows of E-wrap. So we're going to do 4 rows of the E-wrap stitch. So the E-wrap stitch is making little E's and taking the bottom stitch and placing it over the top. And we're going to do that 4 times. We're done with our 4 rows of the E-wrap. Now we're going to reach inside. We're going to start with the anchor peg and take that stitch that you can see here and pull it up. Very similar to how we do in hat making, when we're making the brim of a hat and pulling it up through the loom. So now we'll move to the second stitch. And this is real easy because we have a darker color against the lighter color. So the stitch that you're looking for is the pink. So if you see the line, each one of these needs pulled up. And this is going to give the icing effect of it going over the cupcake. So go along and pull each one of the pink stitch that I'm pointing at over the peg. Now that we've done that, we're going to knit over. So we're going to take that bottom stitch over the top and do it the entire way around the loom. Now we're going to do our purl stitch. So the last we knitted over, so now we're going to continue by doing a purl stitch. So again, previous to this we were knitting over, and now we're going to do our purl stitch. Continue this the entire way around the loom. Then we're going to follow this up by doing an E-wrap stitch, and we're going to alternate doing one row of E-wrap, one row of purl. So we're going to do knit, purl, and you're going to do this until you reach the desired length of your hat. I am going to be adding white to my hat for a little whipped cream effect, so I will show you that. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and add white, and you do it the same way as you added your pink yarn or your frosting yarn, whatever color you chose. Make a tight knot, and then you're going to do the E-wrap stitch. Now go ahead and push your stitches down. And then again, we're going to make little E's. After that, we're going to knit over. So now we're just knitting over, taking the bottom over the top. Continue that around the loom. Now I'm going to do a row of purl, and I'm just going to continue a few times doing the knit purl stitch. So that's one round of knit, one round of purl. Just a couple times to make a little bit of whipped cream. Okay, so I've done my couple rounds of the knit purl, and now we're going to take the hat off of the loom. So I'm going to wrap the working yarn a couple times around and give it a snip. Then I'm going to put the yarn below the stitch on the peg, almost like a purl, but pull that yarn through the loop. So again, put the yarn below the stitch and pull it up through the loop. Do this on each peg. We're just taking the hat off of the loom. Okay, so now we've taken our hat off the loom, so we'll take the yarn and pull it tight. right where that's at, just take it and pull it tight. We're going to slip that yarn through the middle, and it's going to be a little wavy. It's wavy at the top a little bit, and that's normal. So bring that yarn through the hat. So we're going to be working on the inside of the hat now, and pull that yarn tight. We're going to close the hole. And we're going to take that long piece of yarn and work it into the hat. We're going to give it a cut and then sew in the loose ends. Then we're going to take a pom-pom and place it on the top of the hat. And I'm going to have a separate video to show you how to make a pom-pom, one with a pom-pom maker and another with some cardboard. So we'll put our pom-pom right in the middle. And that'll do it for our cupcake hat. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Leave me a comment if you'd like. Thanks for watching. Bye!